This video is brought to you by my new album entitled Dougal's Treats. It's full of hummable melodies, bluesy riffs and the occasional bit of virtuoso flashy stuff as well. If you enjoy bluesy rock guitar with memorable tunes and solos that wail like a banshee, then check out the links in the description. The premium version includes all of the tabs for each tune, videos and jam tracks as well. Thanks for listening. Now on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. You've heard me speak about my pal David in recent videos quite a bit because he's got a lovely guitar collection, and several pieces of that collection have been around here in recent weeks. The Squire 40th anniversary Telecaster and the Epiphone SG Muse and the DeArmond by Guild Bluesbird guitar. Oh, and let's not forget the Crazy Tube Circuits Unobtainium pedal. Well, he popped round again the other day and said, do you want a loan of this? This rather lovely thin line semi. It's another DeArmond. It's basically if the DeArmond Bluesbird was the DeArmond take on a Les Paul, this is the same company's take on a 335 style guitar. I'll tell you all about it once we've heard what it sounds like in a mix. And as always, you'll find a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, and the jam track I was using as well. That's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description, and as you no doubt already know, it's $3 or roughly £3 a month to get access to all of these additional tabs and jam tracks and other bits and pieces and goodies that I usually post minimum of 3 times a week. That's $3 or about £3 a month, and you get access to all of that sort of stuff. What a bargain. bargain, even though I say so myself. Anyway, settings I was using there for the crunchy kind of riffy sort of stuff. The Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury Edition on the Vintage channel. Usually I will use that for the clean sounds as well, but not in this case here because, well, we'll talk about that later. But for the clean tones, the clean chords and the clean lead parts, it was the clean channel on the same amp. And for the sort of solo-y kind of stuff, I didn't kick in my usual higher gain lead sound because it didn't really need it. That's the classic channel on that amp, by the way. I just stayed on the vintage channel, and there was plenty of gain on and sustain and everything that I needed on tap there. As you can hear, a very versatile sounding guitar. Let's have a little bit of a look at it. These aren't made anymore, and information on construction and everything is pretty scarce. I couldn't find much to tell you about in the limited time I've had to have a look, but I'm guessing that it's following the familiar formula for this style of guitar, as in laminated maple body with probably a poplar centre block. As you can see there, set neck, probably maple. We can see it has got a big old, big old scarf joint there. Nothing wrong with that. Very effective construction method. It's got these rather kind of retro-looking pickups that, well, we'll have a look at the specs of those. But just, I don't really think that there's much, remarkable. I don't want to say that there's much remarkable about them, but they sound like a good set of vintage humbuckers to me. They're not in that sort of, they've got that sort of slightly Filtertron look about them, but to me they've just got like a really good PAF humbuckery kind of sound going on. Let's take a little bit of a look at some weights and measures for this guitar. Here we go. You can see a weight of 3.61 kilos and a nut width of 43.2 millimeters. 12-inch fretboard radius, following the sort of Gibson playbook, I guess. And there's the 1st and 12th fret neck profiles. Just a happy sort of comfortable C-shaped neck, really. I can't imagine anybody not getting on with that. It's it's not overly narrow, it's not overly wide. It's just a comfortable neck that feels nice in the hand. See what I mean about the pickup readings? 7 and a bit K on bridge and neck, and then something kind of less than that in the middle when they're in parallel. Vintage style readings there, nothing really that's going to scare the horses. Exactly what you expect from a guitar that has this kind of vibe going on. So a lot to like about this. As I say, they're not made anymore, but in my quest to find some information about them, I did come across quite a few used ones online, but again, people aren't listing the timbers or anything like that in the listings on Reverb and eBay and stuff. But looking at the prices, these seem to be going for just a shade over 600 quid. There are one or two people being rather ambitious with their pricing up or somewhere north of 700 quid. But, if what I'm getting at here is if you're thinking of, you're wanting this style of guitar and you want something that stands out from the crowd, exactly the same thing as I was talking about with the Bluesbird. It's a Les Paul style guitar, but it's not one of the usual suspects. If the idea of just being a little bit different to everyone else that has that style of guitar appeals to you, then I don't know what's an Epiphone 335 go for these days. Something tells me that it's a bit less than a used one of these. So is it worth it? Well, I've got to tell you, there is one thing that I always look for in a guitar that's, it's not the be-all and end-all, but if it's something which doesn't work the way I want, then it's immediately kind of lost a few places in the ranking, in the gasometer, if you know what I mean. And it's whether or not the guitar will clean up from the volume control. So that was a particular failing of the Les Paul variant of this, the Bluesbird. Is this guitar you know, any better or any worse. Well, here's me kind of testing out the volume control earlier. Once again, I was on the vintage channel of the Blue Guitar Amp 1. Nice crunchy sort of sound that I like to be able to clean up from the volume control. This is how I got on. So the short answer is no, it doesn't clean up from the volume control. The volume control might as well be painted on. I would call that non-functional. If I'd bought this guitar brand new from a retailer and the volume control happened like that, I would take it back as being defective, because that is just clearly not doing what it's there for. And whilst on a Les Paul style guitar like the Bluesbird, swapping out the pots is, well, it's child's play really. Even me, who absolutely hates soldering and faffing around with fiddly wires, could probably get away. Well, I can get away with it because I've done it before plenty of times. I just don't enjoy it particularly. But on a guitar like this, where you've got no control cavity access and you've got to basically perform keyhole surgery through here, yeah, that is, well, that's a trip to Agrajag Guitars basically, because I ain't messing around doing that. So there's expense involved. It's, for me, it would be just simpler to go out and get you know, an Epi 335, or maybe the Sire Larry Carlton H7. That's a lovely guitar. I used to have one of those. That's I'm starting to file that one under seller's remorse, if I'm honest, but you know, it is what it is. So I don't want to be like a complete downer on this guitar. If you are the kind of person that likes to go from your clean and dirty sounds via a foot switch, channel switching on an amp, or going between different presets on a model or something like that, and you never go near the volume and tone controls, well, you're not, that's basically what I've just been talking about there for the past few minutes is probably an irrelevance, but it matters to me, and these are my impressions of the guitar. But I have had a lot of fun playing it. You know, it's I really enjoyed putting that little demo tune together, and you know, I've been playing this guitar on and off in lessons for a couple of days, and you know, it's been a fun guitar to play. It's beautifully set up. I don't know if this is how it came from the shop that David got it from. I don't even know where he got it, but whoever has set this guitar up certainly knows their business. Really slinky, low action. Let's get my action ruler. It's around here somewhere. There it is. And a smooth, buttery action of 1.25 millimeters at the 12th fret. Yeah, I mean, realistically, without defying laws of physics, you're not going to get much lower than that. So it's a lovely guitar to play. It's just let down by, I'm not going to say the electronics, because the pickups are pretty good. I enjoyed the sounds I was getting out of it. It's just, it's let down by the pots, and it is a massive faff around to change them on this style of guitar. So that would be, if I was trying this guitar out in the shop, that would be game over. I would go and look at something else. But, you know, that's not something that's relevant to everybody. So you pays your money and you takes your choice. And that is my review of the DeArmond by Guild Starfire ES335 alike. Make of it what you will. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, beer and chat. That's it, really. But it is a great way to kick off the weekend, having a beer and a chat on a Friday. What's not to like about that? I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.